Welcome engineers to Racengineer problem. Today's problem is getting through the Hungarian Grand Prix of Season 3 of my team in 2021. The game 2021, of course, is the year at the moment is 2022. If you haven't noticed, where have you been? Because it is currently towards the end of January. I don't know what I'm doing. I do know what my past self was doing, and that was sorting out the activities for my own team in my team. There we go, I've actually said it correctly this time. And yeah, Hungary. It's actually been generally a good circuit for us. Season 1 we got our first podium there, and Season 2 we got a second place after doing poorly in qualifying. I don't remember how that happened. I'll actually search that up now. Anyway, we've got a contract renewal with Pierre. Obviously we're going to approach him and we're going to make a low risk offer for him, because there's no need to risk not re-signing him, because he's doing all right this season. So yeah, what's not been all right though is the sponsor that we have previously just had, Asiatic Dynamics. We're going to get rid of them, and we are going to get one of the teams with the best income. Yep, 20 points per race. It was really difficult, especially when we are outside the top 5 teams in the R&D chart at the moment. Still checking to find out where we qualified in Season 2. Just looking at the sponsors then, we're going to find out which one has the easiest goal, and we do look at there, but might be a little bit more might be a bit difficult. Satellite seems quite good. Yeah, Satellite, highest achievable goal, so we are going to go for them, and then we'll be putting them on the car in place of Asiatic Dynamics, because why not? They seem to have a good target. Next time Lupo go, we need to get rid of them, because technically pardon me, sorry about that. I am only human though, so you know, of course that's going to happen. Yeah, Lupo. They've been a bit difficult, considering in the R&D chart we are not in the top 5 teams, which means we are going to be out of shape in order to try and get that. There we go. Quali, P14 in Hungary last season, which is pretty much the only reason we couldn't get P1. Slippery as ever, Sergio Perez beat us by 7 seconds. So yeah, we started quite high, quite a bit higher. Maybe we could have got them. However, we do have a satellite, and just skipping the part where I put them on the car, because no need for you guys to see that. And pausing when we have quite a bit of money. Not enough money yet. We still need just under $1 million, about 81 million marketing. Podcast. Decline the offer, minus acclaim by 750. Interview with me. That can be quite catchy. I don't know what I'm talking about. Yeah, we're obviously going to go for accept. We're going to lose a little bit of cash, but we're going to gain more acclaim anyway. And it seems like we gained cash if you look in the top corner. But I've got a special livery, and if you don't know, someone close raced this on the birthday of my dad, and you know, if you know, you know. If you don't, you don't. I'm not going to tell you, because well, you'll probably find out sooner or later anyway. So whole revamp, including the helmet this time, because I didn't do that for Britain. I accidentally forgot for Britain. So yeah. Anyway, R&D chart, we have now fallen behind Alpine, even though we're technically alongside them. But, you know, technically we're alongside Aston Martin, but we're ahead of them as well. So, yeah. And then just looking at the R&D upgrades that we could get, obviously still none. And, yeah, that will be so for quite a while, but we do have 8 million. I've just realised we need 9 million, not 8 million. So we need 0.96 million to go. But let's check out how we did it in practice 1 with the development boost. Anyway, into practice 1. Unfortunately, that weren't me. That was Pierre, our teammate, rocking the new suits for this race. I don't know why I like to leave the intros to the sessions soundless and just the game audio. I think it's just been a habit because of before 2020, they did have the engineers. Jesus Christ. They did have the commentators speaking, and so I guess force of habit, and you know the saying, old habit dies hard, but old habits die hard. Yeah, so yeah, I mean, I think it's nice as well because it allows you guys to just take a breather from me. I'm just sorting out my headphones so I can actually hear the audio a bit better. Qualifying seems to be dry, and race is a bit dry and cloudy.
Good data for both the race and factory teams, so they're well worth running.
And Jeff quite happily explaining why I actually do practice programs still so late into the game, season 3, because the race strategy program actually gives me a good race strategy that I can use for the
It's time to remind ourselves.
Unfortunately, we didn't get any of the boosts. We were a little bit slow, but I don't think we were that slow. So, yeah, maybe Hungary is going to be a little bit more difficult for us, especially when Pierre Gasly's beaten us on a harder compound. Going into the quick practice then, accidentally going for a 100% success one, but to be fair, it was 100%, so it don't matter. Going to 50% on the race strategy for the third one. Didn't quite work, so we're going to go with the 70%, and it does work, and that means we've got all the R&D points. Moving on to track acclimatization to get the R&D points. Done it immediately with a 25%er. Going on to tyre wear to the ERS management to get the R&D points. Works for the first 25% and the second 25%, and we are going to have to do FP3 to get the final one, which is what we're doing now. 25%, 6 minutes is it going to do? Hopefully it will. Yes, it does, because 5 minutes would have been 50% would only have been 30 seconds longer, so kind of a bit stupid there by the team if that was the case. But anyway, team claim and driver claim going up quite a bit. We are still quite far behind Pierre, but that does have to do with our acclaim rate being on low for the player. I have seen people saying that you can individually change the AI teams that, oh no, never mind, I don't know what I'm talking about, I forgot. Anyway, qualifying. Let's see how we do for the Hungarian Grand Prix. Let's go. So we didn't get to see our helmet in practice, but we got to see it in qualifying, so it doesn't matter. coming up to finish our first lap, and it puts us P13 with a 1:15.725. On to lap 2, and then to find out where we go for our second lap. It's not going to be an improvement, so we're going to stay P17 for the moment. Does mean we will have to go out for a second run at the end of the session. Not quite idealistic, but we did get some underbody damage, so maybe that's where why the second lap was no improvement. But to be fair, we are only supposed to be ahead of Ocon, so yeah, but we are very, very much 1.4 seconds off the pace of our teammate, so we should technically really be able to beat Matsushita or the Williams anyway. Going for the highest downforce preset in the game, because I can't be bothered to make a full setup at this stage of my experience with the game. Finishing lap 3 though, we go 9 tenths improvements, put us P16 with a 1:14.7. I don't think that was 7 tenths. Anyway, fourth lap doesn't improve. We gonna stay P16, so we do get through to Q2. No questions asked. But let's see. Well, obviously we didn't knock any surprises out, but Pierre goes 9th, so that is a surprise in itself. 1.6 seconds off the pace from him, and we were only 3 tenths quicker than Matsushita in the Williams. So yeah, we've got some pace to find. Where are we losing it? 26.3. 26.6. Okay, so about 3 tenths in the middle. 26.5. 2 tenths in the first. 26.0. 21.0. 8 tenths in the middle. 4 tenths in the final. So yeah, a lot of the time is in the final sector. Middle sector. Q2 we go 15. We do a 15.6, only good enough for P8. P11 at the end of lap 2. Where does it put us though? Lap 2. 15.3 only stays P11, but I assume as we go to the garage, everyone's going to set their lap and we are going to move down the order. Move down the order we do, and we're P16. 9 tenths behind Pierre Gasly this time though, so very much a good improvement. As
current tyre, brake and engine temperatures, press the MFD button to open the multifunction display.
Oh no, sorry, I'm going to have to interrupt you there, Jeff. I don't do that.
The temperature information screen.
I mean, I'm surprised the Cody's programmed the AI to do that. Jeff do that, because technically, although yes, I know it's a game, but the real life engineers wouldn't say that because they can't do that in real life. So maybe that's something they can improve for next game. Thank you, Jeff, for the best lap update as we head on to complete our third lap. No improvement, we stay P16 with a 15.7, 4 tenths off our personal best. End of lap 4, no improvement once again, only good enough with a 15.5, and that keeps us P16. So we are out of Q2, but let's see how far behind our teammate we are. Well, obviously he's not in the top 14, so he is right in front of us with a 1.7 behind the leader. We're, however, 2.8,
good day today.
so 1.1 seconds off, so not a good day, Claire.
At the front of the grid. Will this be a problem tomorrow?
Oh, considering this is where we should actually be,
Do you have any comments about this team?
I think they're a great team. See, like, there's no women, there's no there's no pleasing them. Yeah, I'm gonna get cancelled. Good thing I'm not that popular, so hey, I'm not gonna get cancelled. Anyway, Team McLean, we have finally been beaten by Checo Perez in the rivalry, and still marginal improvements in the team claim. but we have finally been beaten by Perez, so no biggie there, no big problem there, is what I meant to say. Reading the message from Jeff, and yeah, weather forecast seems to be good, no rain unlike FB1, and we're just going to check through all the menu systems because my brain has a tendency to make sure everything is complete before the race, and yeah, this should have been done before qualifying. So we didn't change our engine components. We're going to do that now, and obviously because we're going to change them, I realised midway through doing this, actually it's going to be better to take a fresh engine set anyway, which is what I'm going to do now, because we got Belgium and Monza coming up soon, and both of them very much reliant on power, and if we can then conserve those engines for Jeddah and Mexico, it's going to be very key to success. Maybe even Brazil, because that's got a really long straight there as well. Going to take a new practice gearbox as well, as we are running low on its health. But let's go to the race for the Hungarian Grand Prix.
Welcome to Budapest once again for another round of the Formula One World Championship. Historically a good race for first victories, with Button, Hill, Alonso and Heikki Kovalainen all reaching the top step of the podium for the first time here. Located 12 miles northeast of the Hungarian capital Budapest, the 14 corners of the Hungaroring are steeped in history and prestige. Overtaking has always been difficult on this technical 2.7-mile circuit, but the last few years in particular have turned up some exceptional races. Let's hope we're in for another one here today. It's race day yet again, and joining me for a chat, Anthony Davidson. And our racers are certainly in for a rough day today. What will you be watching for as they go down into turn one?
Well, the start of the race is always one of the most nerve-wracking parts. You have to hope that everyone is able to get off to a clean start, and this is possibly the trickiest part of the entire race. So many drivers in such a small space, and finding your braking point into turn one as well. It's a testament to the driver's skill that there aren't more incidents.
Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. Young superstar Max Verstappen starts from pole position, edging out Sergio Perez, who lines up P2. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Leclerc, Sainz, Valtteri Bottas and Hamilton, Ricciardo, Norris, Joe and Fernando Alonso, Giovinazzi, Tsunoda, Lance Stroll and Vettel, Gasly, Roberts. They'll be starting further back after an earlier grid penalty. Nobuharu Matsushita and Esteban Ocon. Latifi, Mazepin, Russell and Mick Schumacher. And with lights out just moments away, it's time to go down to the track.
So we still got that problem from the previous games where we have been shown to start P16 when we're actually starting at the back of the grid. As Crofty and Anthony Davidson were saying in the intro to the race there, it's notoriously difficult to overtake here. So hopefully we can just get ahead of these back markers, which shouldn't be that hard. We're going to start on the mediums and not check what everyone else is starting on. It seems like the cars in front of us, immediately in front of us, that is, are also starting on the mediums. So, yeah, copy them, and we shouldn't go wrong, really, because they are our targets to beat in this race.
Looks good on the power unit cycle, so let's concentrate on bringing tyres and brakes up to temperature.
Yep, because I don't think we're going to be able to really beat Pierre or anyone else, so as long as we can set similar lap times to what he's doing, that would be good, because I mean, I don't think the engine takes up that much time anyway, but you never know. So lining up the grid then for the Hungarian Grand Prix. Checking the camera in the right to look at the car from the inside, but obviously as we're the last car on the grid, we ready up for the 5 red lights immediately, and they go out and we are underway, getting okay start. But then on the second phase of the start, we start to lose out to Mick Schumacher on our left. We're going to go to the left of him because he's got a gap there, and we almost hit him as we go onto the grass. Can we go around the outside of his teammate and the Alfa Romeo? Can go around the outside of Nikita, not quite actually. So we're going to dive down the inside of him into turn 2. Can we get the move done on the exit? Yes, we can. Heading towards turn 3 and 4, and then we've got the Alfa Romeos ahead of us up next, as we are in P20 at the end of sector 1. So as long as we keep doing this, we will get ahead of drivers we should be ahead of by the end of lap 1. Unfortunately, our progress has stalled a little bit going into sector 2, as this is the part of the circuit where it's a little bit harder to overtake, and the gap from the first Alfa Romeo on the mediums, first in order of the timing sheet, is dropping a bit from the Williams, so it might be a little bit difficult to catch up to the Williams to get ahead of where we should be. Looks like one of them also got past the Aston Martin, so Pierre is at least in P14. Maybe even P13, maybe he's got ahead of the other Aston Martin, as we are equal to them in the R&D chart. Lap 2 then, can we get past this Alfa Romeo? We're going to look to the inside, are we? Yes we are, but he defends it, and he's actually going to go down the inside of his teammate as we head into turn 1. Now they're going to go side by side and we lose the rear end. Hopefully that doesn't damage our tyres too much, but we need to get onto the back of this Alfa Romeo now. Can we make a move onto them, getting out of turn 3 into turn 4? Which Alfa Romeo is it? It looks like number 6. It's Nicholas Latifi. You're going to go around the outside of him. Well, Fernando managed to defend against Lewis in the real life Grand Prix last season, and we are able to get past him. Jeff even congratulates us on our move. Can we get past George Russell then in this Alfa Romeo on lap 3? Not quite. Jeff telling us we still need to wait for DRS to be activated. Riding on board.
Just ahead. Push for the position. Less than a second separate you. They're on fresh softs. Their tyres are 2 laps old. We think they've got 2 stops remaining. The time last lap was a 1:19.1. You're dropping back by around 2/10 each lap.
So yeah, just checking what strategy the Alpha in front of us, George, is on. Checking on Latifi behind because look at the gap in the rear view mirror.
Their tyres are 2 laps old. We think they've got 1 more stop. The time last lap was a 1:21.5.
So Jeff hasn't reported any damage for Latifi behind, so we don't think we made contact going through turn 4. That was a banging move. I don't see why Lewis was complaining in the real life Grand Prix. Why didn't he just do that? Going out of turn 3 again, can we do the same on George Russell? We're going to look into the outside, but we've not got enough of an overlap. We haven't even got an overlap on him, so we're just going to have to wait till beginning of lap 5. Can we make the move on him this time then?
The car in front is less than a second. Let's try and get past in the DRS zone.
Yeah, that's what we're trying, Jeff. Not quite. This is where we get past him because, or at least an attempt. Can we get past him? Because we have started a little bit earlier of the clip. He defends to the inside right where I want him. We're going to keep him there. He's trying to force me to the outside. Can we get past him through acceleration? We've got the DRS. We take a little bit wider line than he does, obviously, but take much wider line than we actually need to do. Into turn 2, we've locked up and gone a little bit wide. Hopefully we didn't make contact with the Alpha George Russell. I keep saying that I shouldn't. And now we get past him, and now we've got to chase down the Williams. I assume this is no Bahari match as Ocon is clearly the quicker driver, but qualifying doesn't show that. No, that is Ocon's helmet. As we go into turn 1, a little bit of contact with Ocon in the Williams, but we do get ahead of him, and we've got to check our condition though.
Still looking good.
No diffuser damage then, as Jeff continues to talk about tyre condition, but we do have a little bit of rear instability, but I think that was just my mind. Because, yeah, normally if you think you've got damage, your brain will instantly say that you've got damage, and it will manifest the damage, if you know what I mean. So like you'll somehow make it so that you have understood, even though you don't. Going into turn 1 on lap 9, we're right behind Mercedes as he's coming out of the pit lane.
Yellow flag.
And we've got a yellow flag for the Ferrari in front of us. Can we follow Mercedes round him? No, we can't. We haven't got enough grip on these mediums, as Ferrari just stops in front of us, trying to find a safe place to park. Not in front of us, mate.
Signs, they are out of the
And
race.
yeah, Sainz, what are you doing?
Okay,
That is clearly very dangerous. We just got a face full of smoke now. I mean,
okay, watch your pace. We've been informed that
safety
the safety
car.
is out.
Okay.
There appears to have been an issue with multiple
lap
stopped
9.
vehicles on the track.
Never mind, we need to go
Drop your speed. Our delta is
another
too low.
9
We
laps
risk a penalty. Slow your pace
into the race
immediately.
before we can get onto the hards. But yeah, some drivers may be getting a free pit stop, but I do think they all did make their pit stop before the safety car, so they can't make any free gains. But the leader has caught up to the safety car now, and so have we at the end of lap 11. Obviously, we could have pitted, but the safety car doesn't go long enough.
Safety car is in this lap.
As it
Safety
comes in
car
on lap
this
12,
lap. Let's
it
make
doesn't
sure
go
those
long
tyres are
enough
up
to
temperature,
when
and
we would
remember,
have
there's
pit.
no overtaking
So
until the timing line.
normally if
Stay
you want to
in
pit under
position
safety
until
car,
the green flags.
when the safety car comes in, you can kind of guess when that's going to be. You kind of want to pit if when the safety car comes in, by guessing, you kind of want that lap to be the same lap that you were going to pit anyway, because you don't really damage your tyres on the safety car. And you get green flag underway. Got a poor star relaunch after the McLaren ahead, and so the McLaren behind us looks like Lando's helmet is going to dive us down the inside. We're going to let him through, not too difficult, because obviously he is in the quicker car, and he's not our fight. Our fight is
Alonso
with
behind. The gap is less than a second. They're on fresh hards. Their tyres are 3 laps old. The time last lap was a 1:57.7.
our fight is not with Alonso behind us, but we are going to try and keep
Car ahead is
him
a second
behind
lap
because
faster
he is
than you.
quite similar in pace, and he isn't really able to get past us. As we head on to lap
We're
15, our
approaching the
pit window.
You'll be on the hards.
Pit window is nearly open.
We're trailing our teammate by 2.2 seconds. They're on old mediums. They're in 8th. The time last lap was a 1:19.1.
So we've got McLaren's in P12, P11, Mercedes in P10, and that Aston in P9. So we're not actually that far behind Pierre. Helped by the safety car, of course, but
Box. We're coming in this lap.
we're actually not going to come in this lap, Jeff. You know why?
Pierre is in for his stop.
That's why. So we're going to come in a lap later. Prioritise Pierre as he is higher up. He is ahead
Pit
of
box
the
is currently
Aston.
full. Stay out on track. Stay out on track.
I'm playing with the
We'll
rubber.
receive you at the end of this lap. Pitting
Telling
this
Jeff
lap,
in every
then.
sector
Come into
that
the
we're going
pits
to
at
come
the end of
into the
this
pit
lap.
at the end of this lap, even when Pierre was still in the pit lane, because it don't really matter too much. As we enter the pit lane now, we get a little bit of oversteer coming round the final corner. It is very tight in the pit lane, and just making sure that we didn't speed into pit lane. We do have 2 track limit warnings, so we've got to be careful of them towards the end of the race. Let's see if we can get close to the Aston with our pit stop. So a quick one for the boys, please. Very quick one, actually. We are very much within DRS range of the Aston ahead, but we are in P17 now. But we are very close to our teammate, and we do have DRS on the Aston, who has DRS on our teammate. So let's see if we can get past the Aston very quickly. Doesn't seem to be able to do so on lap 20. What about lap 21? We closed up a lot into the final corner, and we're a lot closer to him than he is to our teammate. Are we going to look down the inside within what I call dive bomb range? Yes, we are going to go down the inside, and we meet the apex before he does, and we are up into P15 due to one driver coming into the pit stop before. P15 once again. Can we close in on Pierre and overtake him? We are now moved up into P13. He defends, but there's not big enough gap for me to take it. And obviously I didn't take it because I'm still being in P13 behind Pierre. Getting ahead of both of these drivers won't really do too much. It'll only put P11, but you never know, we could be equal points with someone later on in a championship, and it could prove vital. Anyway, we have another challenger join the battle in the forms of an AlphaTauri behind us, but behind the Aston behind. Well, that kind of felt weird. Dive bomb into Pierre, on Pierre, not into. We don't make contact, hopefully. Going towards turn 2, he's on the inside now. Can we force him all the way to the inside? Yes, we can, but we lock up and go a little bit wide. Can we get a better run out of turn 2? Yes, we can. Use that to get a better run through turn 3, and we are up into P12, but it looks like he's going to come back at us going into turn 4. Not quite anything doing, and now we've got the Aston ahead of us finally to try and overtake, but Pierre is very close to us. Is he going to try and make a move into sector 2? No, he isn't, and we are going to keep the position of P12 for the moment. On to lap 26 then. Can we overtake the Aston? Closing in on him. Not going to go for the overtake right now. Closing up on him very much into the final corner on that lap. But we lose a little bit of time on the exit of the corner, but we are closing in a lot. Are we going to go dive bomb? Yes, we are. We're not in dive bomb range though, so we back out of it just before. So trying to trick myself and you guys. Yeah, there. Because I actually kind of tricked myself there. On to lap 28 then. Got 7 laps after this one to go. And closing in on the Aston, I think it's Vettel, I can't quite tell actually. I should have looked on the helmet of the first Aston. But we are closing in on the Aston. We're very much within dive bomb range, but we don't need to. We're going to go round the outside of him. He forces us on the grass. We didn't have to take the grass though. And heading towards turn 2 now. Where are we going to go? We're going to go down the inside. Can we keep the advantage going into turn 3? Yes, we can. Can we get a better drive through turn 3 and get ahead of him? Yes, we can. I think I saw number 18 on the car. And we are up into P11 on the end by lap 29.
Giovinazzi ahead. Okay, gap ahead is 7.6 seconds. They're on old hards. Their tyres are 11 laps old. The time last lap was a 1:17.9. They're building a lead of 0.6 per lap.
Giovinazzi building a lead of 0.6 a lap. I don't think we're going to be able to catch him. So we've just got to solidify this position for 6 laps now. And I need to tell you this.
Currently P11, we're currently P11.
I began to overheat in the car, in the cockpit. Yeah, I don't know why. I mean, I normally open my window a little bit, but I didn't this time. But I don't think it was that crucial. Confirmation by Jeff then, if you heard, that we do, it is Stroll behind us. Let's see if Pierre can get ahead of him as we head later in the lap. We go over the curve. And Jeff, you scared me there. I thought you were going to tell me we had floor damage, which would have meant that we possibly wouldn't have been able to keep this P11. That would have been very scary indeed. Heading on to lap 33 then. Let's see if we can keep P11. It seems like we can do. Because there's 3 laps of the race.
But officials aren't looking to push for a safety car right now. Just be careful.
Okay, Jeff, thank you. We have got 2 laps to go now anyway, so there would have been no safety car. And normally that comes up when I've crashed and flashbacked. I can tell you I didn't, so I don't know what that's coming from.
This is your final lap.
Lap 35, trying to break the toe from Stroll, but he's very close. Is he going to try and move into turn 1? No, he almost hits us. Can we try and back him up into Pierre and try and get Pierre to get P12 to make it a strategical P12? Unfortunately, it is the race though, so strategic front row does not exist anymore. Stroll trying to make a move into the second sector. We've lost the rear ring, so we cannot use DRS, but it doesn't matter because, you know, it's the final lap and we don't need to overtake, we need to defend. Going into sector 2, missing out the chicane just a little bit by a fraction, and we had to take a tighter line into the second part of this game. Jeff finally telling us about the DRS fault. I wish you could stop the pop-ups from happening. Going into sector 3 then, getting on the grass a little bit, locking the rears a little bit. Is Stroll going to try and make a move going into the penultimate hairpin? He's hit the back of us. Is he down the inside of us? I'm not sure, so we're going to give him room into the final corner. What's going on to the cars behind? They've dropped that massively. What's going? We finished the race in P11, but I don't think that's the whole story.
Race over. Take care of the car on the way in.
Good drive of the day, obviously. Starting P22, and we've halved that position. But I don't know what happened. I thought Stroll was making a move. I guess we'll have to find out. Intriguing.
Anthony, tell me, what was it that helped them achieve this success?
Without a doubt, the safety car changed everything today. The key to their success was keeping calm and reacting to the situation quickly. We've seen teams in the past throw away wins because they were too hesitant, but here they were decisive, and that's allowed them to take the advantage.
The drivers are en route to the podium as we speak. What a fantastic win for the Red Bull team. They performed exceptionally today, keeping us firmly on the edge of our seats throughout the entirety of the race. Congratulations to everyone at the team.
So obviously I know what actually happens, but I'm just trying to build up suspense for you guys. Yeah, that was really odd. He just backed off on me. I mean, what happened to him? He just slowed down.
So,
I thought Stroll was on our
driver
outside.
standings. Our
He
championship leader is still
finishes
sat at the
2
top of the
seconds
standings,
behind us.
but their rivals have made up some solid
That's
ground
really
today.
odd.
Now, let's discuss, Ant, who
Anyway.
would you say is a contender for driver of the day?
I have to give it to Roberts. There was a lot going on. all
Thank
down
you
the
very
field,
much.
but they
Thank
were
you,
the
thank
only
you.
one who I really felt
P22
maximised their potential.
all the
Let's
way
move
to
on to the
P11.
constructors. Red Bull
Technically it
further
should
ahead
really
of the
be
standings. There was
P13
also a
because
strong showing from the Mercedes team today as they
Ferrari
make their
of
way up the
Science
standings.
and the
Well,
Alpha
Ant, an end to another
Tauri
fantastic
of
weekend of racing.
Zoe,
Thanks to everyone who joined us,
not ahead of
and we'll
us.
see you for the next one.
Science retired. Not sure what happened to Zoe though. I'm so funny. Yeah, I'm not sure. Did Stroll get damage? Because I'm not sure. It didn't look like he hit us going into the penultimate corner. Yeah, he was very close to us, but I don't think he hit us. I mean, if he did, I don't think that's my fault. But I don't know. Once I get back from the restroom, as the posh people would call it, or the lavatory, yeah, I can find out what happened as I go to check now. Verstappen not having a good day, dropping from P1. The Mercedes were on the 3rd row and they managed to get a double podium. So lucky for them guys. Yeah, Guan Yu Zhou, 2-stop, finished behind us. The Haas finished last again. Manchester gets overtaken by Russell. Well, Russell was on the back of him for much of that race, of the race that we saw, that we were in as well. We have dropped down behind Hamilton and Ricciardo in the championship and their respective teams
Amazing
as well.
performance out there. I'm sure you're pretty happy with that.
Yeah, I am actually.
Who do you
Unfortunately,
say
we
is
don't
your
get to see
biggest
what happened with
rival at
Stroll.
the
I'm not choosing
moment?
any
We
of
all
them.
underestimated you, didn't we?
I guess you did. I mean, it was luck with the safety car though.
Well, thanks anyway.
Well, give me a rival that actually I can compete with. Anyway, guys, that is going to wrap it up for the end of this video. If you like, dislike, whatever you want to do, comment your thoughts down in the comments below. Share with your friends because friends have common interests. Watch to the end of the highlights to find out what happened with Stroll, because I didn't actually check in the replays because I didn't think it was a big deal after the race. But I'm the race engineer. Until you race to have a problem that your engineers can't fix, I've been a race engineer. Bye.